Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Motorgraph World channel. My name's Mari. Today I'm here at the Genesis showroom to see the facelifted GV70. Let's take a first look at what elements have changed and of course the interior. Immediately, you see that there is an image change of the GV70, but if you look at the elements, it's not that a lot has changed, but those elements that actually add to the changed image of the face. First, if you can see the lights, the two lines that are distinctive of the Genesis lineup, you can see that it has become more refined. If you look closer, you have those pixel lightings, and they call them the micro lens array or the MLA lights. And these are highly intelligent lights that actually can change the brightness of the lights as well as selectively putting the light on wherever you need it. So you have a bit of an advancement in the lights. Then you also have the double shielded grille design, which is actually working well for the GV70. It has an inner layer and an outer layer, and together it kind of looks like a mesh design, also adding to that presence of the face. If you come down to the bumper area, there's also some elements that have changed, some details, some chrome designs that have also been excluded for this model, which I think is working. And I really like the two-tone version of the black as well as the dark silver metallic gray. It's not as like in your face as before, like the chrome details. It's subtle, but it also adds to that widened effect of the car, making the car looks a bit more wider from the bottom. So we've popped open the bonnet and you can see that it's a V6 engine. So you do have the options of the 2.5 liter turbo and the 3.5 liter turbo gasoline engines. The 2.2 liter diesel engine is no longer provided. We were expecting an update about the hybrid powertrains. However, there hasn't been any updates on that. So for those seeking for fuel economy and mileage, that's one shortcoming of that. First distinctive difference that I see is the wheels. They actually have the wheels made for the GV70, and I really like this design compared to the previous one. The GV70 is one model that is really selling like hotcakes in Korea, and I think it's because of the overall fly line and the sportiness of the SUV. Since it's a facelift, you won't see that many changes. However, there is one distinct design element that has changed. Once you come around to the back, you can see that the tips of the tailpipes have been changed. And because there's not many chrome detailing on this car, you actually see that this is very distinctive. I think that it adds a sporty element to it. So now let's pop open the trunk. Very convenient because it's just one button on the wiper at the back. And at the moment there is something inside, but still, if you consider that, it's quite spacious. And of course, you do have to consider this slant in the trunk as well as the ceiling because of the fly line. However, if you think about the width of the car and the depth of the car, then it's quite spacious. So just to remind you, this is slightly quite high up from the air. So if you're hauling in luggage from the ground, it will be quite a lift. So the generic version of the GV70 is a slightly different model compared to the sports version. As you can see from the crest grille, it's a different kind of two-tone. This one has two lines going through the crest grille, and it also has a lot of the chrome detailing. And even the backside of the generic GV70 is slightly different from the sports package. So you also see some chrome details for the bottom part and the bottom bumper. The bottom bumper design as well as the tailpipes are also different on this model. You have a wide variety of options from the standard model to the sports model for different wheels. And all of them put together, I think that out of all of the cars that are displayed on the showroom, I kind of like this one. This is the sportier sports package version. It actually works with the matte finish on the exterior and also the wheels. The first thing that I do notice inside is the steering wheel. The steering wheel has been changed changed in terms of the design as well as some of the technology. And I kind of like it better because it's a bit more sportier. And the two-tone also works on the steering wheel as well. Even on the adaptive cruise control, there were two different types of systems where you had to have a grip on the steering wheel in order to get the car back into control. However, now it's just a touch system in which the steering wheel doesn't require the driver to place both hands with a firm grip on the handle, and now it's just a touch and it will be able to recognize that the driver is there. A lot of the interior design elements and the structure has been taken from the GV80. The GV80 is their flagship, and a lot of the elements inside have been adapted now to the younger brother, or the GV70. You have the center 27-inch OLED that has been applied. It looks very, very wide, and it's kind of a unified, harmonious look as well. Also, with all of the controls and everything is a bit more geared and angled towards the driver, allowing you to have more ergonomic access to some of the dials and controls. Here you see a lot of the similarities with the GV80 as well. You do have some control knobs that are physical and analog. However, you also have that touch panel in the center. Then you have the knobs. It's cleaner, I think, than before, because one thing that I did feel was a little uncomfortable in the previous model was actually the wireless charging. Now it has actually been moved over here. Before, it was at an angle that kind of hit any accessories that I had. It was a small gap that I had to navigate through. But now it's been moved over to the back side, and you can place your phone here and just have the center console compartment kind of locked down on it. I also like the fact that I get a lot of support on the back of my knees as well as my calves. This provides a little bit of additional cushion to the legs while you're driving. Considering the overall fly line and considering the size, you do get good line of sight. It is slightly slanted and it might not provide that much space compared to the bigger models, but because the seating position is a bit adjusted downwards and the top of the car is actually starting at a higher angle, then you have this height. Although from the outside it might look small, inside from the driver's perspective, it's actually a good line of sight. You can see that not that much has changed, just little elements. But one big thing that has changed is actually the center console, and the HVAC system can be controlled through a touch screen. So I think that this is quite convenient for the second row passengers as well. And the second row seats, I would really like to actually sit in the second row seats if my friend had a GV70. Overall, the atmosphere is quite nice. The HVAC is wonderful, and you also have the sunroof here, which is quite wide. So most of the time, it doesn't actually come all this way back. It usually comes maybe, at this angle so that you do get a little bit of sunlight for the second row seats. But for this one, you actually have the sunroof extend all the way to here, which actually gives you that much more sun and that openness feeling for the passengers. So what did you think about the first look of the GV70? I thought that these smaller elements that have been added really add to the luxuriousness or premiumness of the model. Tell us your comments down below, and next time I'll see you with a test drive.